My 23F best friend 23F confessed she had an affair with my boyfriend, 23M. The story doesn't check out. I will try to explain the situation the best I can, even though I am myself really confused. So it all started a few months ago, when my best friend Kim started questioning the liberty, more like trust, I give to Mike. I don't make an issue of things that would normally be inappropriate for some people. I trust Mike's character and believe he will make the right choices. I also know I am the jealous type, so it is better to just let go for me and trust. I would rather he strays than behave because I am watching solely. However, Kim kept trying to imply that he could be cheating on me and that I would have no idea. Her ex cheated on her. It was in high school though, so I guess she tends to be suspicious. Now why of my boyfriend? I thought it was because she was looking out for me. She is also friends with him, so surely she knows he is not that type, right? I know anyone can cheat, but let's agree that some people are really less likely to. Mike and I have been together 3 years. He is my first and I love him very much. He is both a lover and friend to me, and our relationship is a source of happiness to me, and him too normally. Mike has never given me a reason to doubt him, never lied about serious things, just insignificant things like saying he is arriving soon at my house when really he just finished showering. Basically, the idea of him cheating is foreign to me. We had strong and clear boundaries in place. I would be mind-fucked if he did, knowing the type of person he is. But then again, most betrayed thought like me, anyways. Kim had been bringing it up on and off for the last few months, and a few weeks ago when she came to stay over, she dropped the bomb on me that supposedly, Mike was cheating with her. At first I felt really numb. I cried, I screamed, berated her and drove to Mike's house at 2 a.m. She had shown me texts on WhatsApp with his name and it was very clearly cheating. They had been together for 6 months. He would meet her on Mondays to have lunch, when he told me he usually have lunch with his parents. They apparently snuck out on New Year's Eve to fool around. I did lose sight of both of them at one point at that party, but found him with his friends later. I confronted him in this hysterical state and he just looked confused. He kept denying up until the end. When I left he was still denying everything. I don't use WhatsApp but he used to, however, because of family problems. Basically group chat issue it seems. He deleted it 2 months ago. So he had no way of proving to me he didn't cheat unless calling his parents to confirm, but at that point, judging from his reaction, I already believed he didn't cheat. But I also couldn't believe Kim would lie. She has been my best friend for years. She always had my back. I would have trusted her with my life. That night we called her. She had left shortly after her confession, in which she cried like a real culprit, and Mike confronted her, but she kept to her story. She told him to admit it, that she couldn't continue anymore, couldn't do this to me, etc. They just kept arguing, and I asked her if he ever slept at her place at one point, and she said he did on date where he was supposed to go meet his friend in a neighboring city 4 months ago. But, turns out that weekend in question, he was indeed supposed to go but chose to stay with me as I was having some issues. We spent that weekend together and I really don't think he snuck out of the house at night. I also sleep while holding him tightly and I would have felt it if he had moved. So her story didn't check out. I told her that and she says she must have confused the dates. Apart from the texts she has no other proof. However, she seemed really hurt that I wouldn't trust her, but there is a big hole in hers. While except from the WhatsApp being deleted there is nothing else that is suspicious for him. His texts with her are normal basic comrades stuff and have been for a month. I can't go further up on his phone to retrieve texts. They are not deleted, it's just like that for some reason. Now Kim and I don't speak to each other anymore. Mike is beyond furious at her and I am confused. I believe my boyfriend, but I just can't wrap my head around the idea that Kim would lie like that, and for what? She is good friends with Mike too. It's not as if she disliked him. A small part of me wonders if I did not clear the wrong person, but really Mike would have to win an Oscar if he can feign innocence so well. I know my last option is for him to get his mom to confirm, but at this point I wonder if it really is necessary to drag her in our problems. There are his friends too, but as much as I trust Mike, If he really did cheat, those guys would protect him and lie until the end. I could also contact Kim and verify it's his number listed on WhatsApp, but I don't think Mike would appreciate after the scene I caused that night. He was more concerned and understanding than mad, but that's because Kim was my best friend and he could see how I would take her words for the truth. But would someone really invent months of conversations just to break a relationship? What was she doing, texting herself? Am I right to believe him? Aren't being blinded by my feelings? I know there isn't a clear question, but in this situation, what is the next step for me? Too long, didn't read. My ex best friend says my boyfriend cheated on me with her. However, her story has a glitch and my boyfriend is the perfect image of someone who was wrongly accused. What is my next step?
Hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out, thanks.
The premise is flawed. If she was really your friend, she would not have slept with your BF. So either, 1, she is telling the truth equals she is not your friend, or 2, she is lying to break you up equals she is not your friend. Therefore, she is not your friend. I read it as OP's friend trying to break them up cause she wants to be with her BF. Got upset because he wasn't interested and decided to make them break up out of spite. Definitely not OP's friend. Me, 26F, with my partner, 28M, of 2 years and mutual friend, 25F, our friend tried to seduce my partner behind my back. I have been friends with Jade, 25F, for over 10 years, we have always been quite close. About 2 years ago, Sam, 28M, my partner, and I got together. We were part of the same friend group, so he was also friends with Jade, but she has been my friend longer. We were all at a party together the other night. Sam was silly. Jade was being a little too friendly and I did feel uncomfortable, but I trust Sam. He's a friendly silly, to everyone, male and female, and he kept on coming up to kiss me and tell me he loved me. He's also a sweet silly. At the end of the night he said goodbye and hugged everyone. I noticed that she let her hug linger a little too long, but didn't think too much of it. Sam was quite silly and it's a long car ride home, so he lay down in the back seat for most of the drive home. I expected him to pass out, but he just sat on his phone for the whole time. The next day, he told me he had something difficult to tell me. After the party, Jade had messaged him. It was explicitly romantic right from the start and she had flat out said that she wanted to sleep with him and offered him a threesome. He admitted he was flattered by the attention, let it go on longer than it should have, but ultimately shut it down. He was visibly shaken. He showed me all messages. At first he had tried to joke it off, but she persisted. He flirted back with her, but after a few messages snapped out of it and said there was no way he could do that to me. To my disgust she kept pushing it, even saying that she would do things that she knows I wouldn't. He continued to shut her down. She then complained that we hadn't seen her enough lately, that she's been sad and unhappy. He kept the conversation going, trying to comfort her, then said he was tired and went to sleep. We have since both agreed to go no contact with her. I still trust my boyfriend and this isn't too big a threat to our relationship. He shut it down and came to me straight away. He was open, apologetic, accepted full responsibility and says that he will do anything to regain my full trust. We have discussed this, at length. There are just a few nagging issues for me. 1. He flirted back initially, biggest issue, which he admits encouraged her to continue. 2. He didn't shut it down as firmly as I would have liked. He said things like "you're hot, but, that sounds great, but." 3. He kept talking to her afterwards. 4. I was next to him in the car and at home when he was messaging her, which is playing with my head. 5. He wasn't as mad with her as I think he should be, considering that she completely disrespected our relationship. Is there something that he or I can do to help me get past this? He has already offered to cut his drinking as this was a massive influence. Too long, didn't read, have gone no contact with friend. Need advice to get my relationship past this. It sounds like he made mistakes but came clean and agrees to cut back on drinking. If it were me, I would accept this and let it go. A lot of people have a hard time being rude/blunt to someone, especially someone they thought was a friend. Does thinking about it in those terms make you feel better at all? I think you made the right choice in cutting Jade out of your lives. I, 29F, was helping my friend set up a dating site profile and accidentally found my husband, 33M, on there in the people in your area section. Long story short, I was helping my friend to set up a profile on a dating site for her to find someone new after recovering from a really bad breakup, and I accidentally came across my husband having a profile on there. I'm in shock. We have had our fair share of issues in the past 8 years of marriage and had been attending marriage counseling due to him mistreating me in the past. Things seem to be improving between us over the past year or so. In retrospect, in the past few weeks there have been some red flags such as him never being home, always being distant from me. He claims this is due to work-related issues, which I respected and patiently waited to things to improve, and just yesterday he was at the jewelers and a perfume shop with no explanation. He was with a friend, so I presumed he was there because his friend was after something. I'm fuming and have a billion thoughts running through my head. I don't know what to do. I know for a fact I want a divorce, but I want him to suffer repercussions for what he has done. I want to go about this in the smartest way possible. I have seen stories over the years of people confronting their cheating partners in clever ways or exposing them and dumping them in clever ways, but my mind is blank right now as I'm that hurt. Please help. Too long, didn't read. Husband is cheating on me. What to do? Screenshots of his profile and questions, not because infidelity has any bearing on anything if you're in a no-fault state, but in case you are tempted to stay and he tries to manipulate you or mitigate the seriousness of what he's done, and a consult with a lawyer. Can you stay with someone else while you deal with the initial shock? Living well is the best revenge. Engage a good lawyer and take him to the cleaners by all means, but instead of putting huge amounts of energy into hurting him and besmirching his name, focus on yourself and having a great time.